If you'd like to go without the neck guard, you can do that. If you want to wear it, so be it. Do it at your own risk. You suffer the consequences if you make the wrong choice. Choose wisely. I like that idea. Let people make their own choices. We don't and this is the thing. We don't need laws and all these rules in place every time something like this happens. Let the people decide. Survival of the fittest. If you're dumb enough to go without a neck guard, like myself, you suffer the consequences if something like that happens. And if you want to put a neck guard on, great, you're protected. I choose not to because I like looking cool and I like having shoulder mobility. Simple as that. I have to live with those consequences if something like that happens.
Let's use intent to injure on a pretty big conversation that's happening in the hockey world right now, and the terrible outcome of what happened with the player over in the British Elite League. Some pretty terrible stuff. Adam Johnson, who is no longer with us, he passed after a very unfortunate incident that happened over in England, and I've had a friend that's played over there for over close to a decade. Danny Stewart was with the Coventry Blaze for a period of time, so I haven't had a chance to talk with him yet, but I can imagine that there's a lot of talk right now, and there is online, I know that, about whether or not this play was intentional or not. And I don't know if you're going to put the video of it on the podcast or not. It's very easy to go Google, but it's just a horrific incident where a skate blade came up and caught Adam Johnson, former Pittsburgh Penguin and Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin, played with the Ontario Reign in the American Hockey League, caught a blade to the neck and perished due to loss of blood. And now the big conversation is, A, was it intentional? Should the player that lifted his skate be up for manslaughter? And the other big question is whether or not neck guard should be implemented in hockey. I know the Western Hockey League in Canada has already made it mandatory that they're going to be wearing neck guards. I wore them through minor hockey, was never a big fan. The technology, from the sounds of it, hasn't gotten a lot better since then. But I think this is a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I even read that Bill Daly, as a vice chair or vice commissioner of the NHL, has said that it's on their radar right now. And I know a handful of Winnipeg Jets have been trying them out in practice right now, because that's a scary moment, man. No one wants to see that, and my heart goes out to his family. And terrible situation.
Do you want my opinion on the neck guard situation?
Go for it.
Okay. Well, first off, I think we've had two guys on the team, at least in Watertown, that have added neck guards since then. Again, awful situation. I know that there's this conspiracy theory, and I know Dave and I love our conspiracy theories. And let me take my put my tinfoil hat on for a moment. The conspiracy that this was an intent to injure and an intent to kill, which is absolutely ridiculous. First off. I don't think a single hockey player out there on the planet, no matter how much you despise a guy, even with the situation that we just described, that you would ever do something like that to somebody. And also, even if, let's say, let's just pretend for a second you were, I don't know how you get your skate up that quickly in that area to execute that. I mean, the only other thing is, Blades of Glory, when they do the Iron Lotus, that's the only other thing I can think of, but that's also in a fake movie. But I believe in the video, and I don't know if I'll be able to put the video on because it gets flagged on YouTube.
Yeah, don't.
But the guy who's coming across the middle gets his skate clipped or kind of kicked out by the other player, and it comes up and then slices Adam's neck open. My boy Liam Sweeney, one of my good friends, he's in Kelowna. I played college hockey with him. He knows the guy that did the killing, the killer, I guess. Do we call him that? I don't want to use that kind of vocabulary.
No, I don't either. Well, it's.
What do you call him?
Listen, man, that guy, I mean, the amount of therapy he's going to have to go through for the rest of his life, like his life is ruined. I mean, I really hope he can recover, but I mean, look at what happened to Danny Heatley with the whole situation where he was he was driving the vehicle and then ended up killing his friend after they were going too fast in a car. I mean, he was never right after that. And I mean, this is a situation where it happened on the ice. Like, I don't know. I can't even imagine him trying to put on gear again, and not having that in the back of his head the entire time. He will not be the same hockey player if he even continues to play, and I hope he does. But that is a life sentence, man.
I agree, and the punishment is the fact that he has to live with that for the rest of his life, unfortunately. And I know, just talking to Sweens says he knows the guy, one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet, and would never do something like that. So I don't know. I don't know anybody personally outside of what Sweens has told me. I know for a fact I personally don't even know how in that amount of time you'd be able to get your skates up so intentionally, so quickly to execute that kind of a play. Again, such a freak accident. I mean, if there was a silver lining, I feel like with the speed in which it happened, it was very quick. You know what I mean? From when it happened to Adam to when, limited pain and suffering, if you want to call it that. So I guess that is a silver lining. It's unfortunate, but I think it's also a freak accident. I mean, you think about how much hockey actually gets played in the world in 365 days, all the countries, all the continents, all the cities, and how many actual injuries where stuff like that happens. We're talking like a 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, like needle in a haystack. So to mandate everybody to have a neck guard on, it's like saying, well, you have to have a mattress on, the windshield of your vehicle in case I go flying through it. Well, how many times am I actually going to go flying through my own windshield into your windshield? You know what I mean? It's a little bit overkill.
Yes, I agree with you, but at the same time, you've seen hockey trend this way for a very long time. I mean, keep in mind, it wasn't until the late 80s, I might even say 90s, when McTavish came back. I think Guy Lafleur came out of retirement and didn't wear a helmet either, but they grandfathered in the helmet. Now they've grandfathered in the visor, and wouldn't surprise me if eventually they go to full cage and neck guards. And you got to keep in mind, a lot of this is all... some of it, maybe not a lot of it, but some of it has to do with the amount of insurance that these owners pay for their players. And the less insurance they can pay, the better.
Hold on, let me ask you a question, though. Do you think, you'd have to think the insurance premiums went up after that incident, no?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, because, yeah.
You think it's a business decision? The premiums went up. We got to put on neck guards so premiums go down. You'd like to think so, no?
I would definitely think that something like this happens, and anytime a payout like this happens, yeah, premiums go up every single time. So, again, I'm not going to guesstimate on what exactly happened with the pens and papers and all the bean counters, but I know that it's not a good look at all. I mean, when hockey makes worldwide news and it's because of this, that's never a good look.
Well, let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Neck guards, yes or no? And here's the thing for goalies, too. Neck guard and or dangler. Because I do wear a dangler so I can keep the shoulder mobility. So technically, I do wear a neck guard.
Yes, you do.
Where does that sit? I don't know. Let us know in the comment section. Dave and I will always get back to you. It'll get spicy. We're sure of it. But let us know. What do you think, Dave? Yes or no?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
Pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.